Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are just another way to write an improper fraction using whole numbers and a fraction instead. So before this, you should have already watched our improper fractions video, because mixed numbers is just a different way to read improper fractions. So they're going to look very similar today, and that's because, well, they are. Let's go ahead and start out with a model of an improper fraction. Okay, we're going to have two fraction circles divided into fourths. So before this, we have simply been labeling this improper fraction with our numerator on top and our denominator on bottom. So as an improper fraction, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shaded in. And then our denominator would be what these fractions are divided into. These fractions are divided into fourths. And remember, with improper fractions, it's basically like you're adding these two fraction circles together. So it's like 4 fourths plus 3 fourths, which would give us 7 fourths. Remember, your denominator stays the same. So with mixed numbers, there is another way to write this entire fraction circle, okay? So let's go ahead and clear off some space, and then we'll be talking about how to do that. All right, so another way that we could write this is simply by looking at the amount of holes we have and saying, okay, here we have 4 fourths, which is also known as 1 whole. And then you put whatever fraction is not a whole beside of it. So then I have 1, 2, 3 fourths. So 1 and 3 fourths. So you could write it as an improper fraction right here. This is the improper way. And then our mixed number way is 1 whole and 3 fourths. It's our mixed number right here, because we have 1 whole, which is right here, also known as 4 fourths, plus 3 fourths. And if you broke that down, it would also give us 7 fourths. So it's basically just another way to write an improper fraction, okay? Let's look at another example to see if we can figure out the mixed number. It's really important to remember as well that the denominator is going to stay the same for all of these. So if I have this fraction circle, we'll split it into halves. That's easy. Lots of fraction circles. Okay, let's go ahead and, let's pick a pretty color. There we go. Let's color some of these in. All right, now we've got our fraction model ready to go. Now, if I wanted to write this as an improper fraction, what I would do is I would simply count the sections that are shaded in, and that would be my numerator. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections shaded in. And all of these are divided into 2 pieces. So 2 would be our denominator. So we could write it as an improper fraction, or now we're going to write it as our mixed number. As a mixed number, we would count the holes. So I have 1, 2, 3 holes. So that would be my big number, 3. And then I would look at my leftover fraction, which is 1 over 2, or 1/2. And that would be how I write the mixed number. A mixed number has a whole number in it, right here, and a proper fraction, which is right here. So we have our whole number, which is these holes. So 1, 2, 3. That's where I got my holes from. And then you look at this fraction, which in this case it is 1/2. And that is what you write out beside of it. Another way to think about this would be 2 halves plus 2 halves plus 2 halves plus 1/2, which would equal 7 halves, which is our improper fraction. Or you could write it as 3 wholes and 1/2, which is our mixed number. So you can write these fractions 2 different ways, whichever one really you find easier. But don't be confused when people start talking about improper fractions and mixed numbers. They're actually the same thing, they're just written in different ways. With an improper fraction, you have all the shaded in parts represented by the numerator, but when you're talking about a mixed number, you count some of those shaded in parts as wholes because we have some holes here, and that's what we're writing this as. We're writing it as 3 holes, so 3, and then we don't have to write 7 halves because we've already counted these holes, these, and these, and really the only thing left to count after that is